Hey, COASTLIFE fam. We have had heat this week. We've had storms this week. It keeps going back and forth, but great news, everybody. By the time we get to the 4th of July weekend, it looks like it is smooth sailing, nice weather, ready to get out there. I'm one of your co-hosts, Charlie Cicadas.
And I'm your other co-host, Leah Rizzo. And this is always a fun time of year in this area. I mean, I think beach town, celebrating the 4th of July, it's always a good thing. And you're going to need the right outfit, which of course from Water Lily. I was so excited when she brought in the most recent batch of clothes, all of them amazing, but especially gearing up for the 4th of July. This is sort of the fireworks show vibe that you will bring.
What I like is that when the fireworks are going off, they will glitter off of this jacket.
Yes. So make sure you pop into Water Lily. You can find them on the boardwalk in Bethany Beach or in Ocean View. She's got all kinds of great stuff for you so that you show up to your 4th of July event, barbecue, party, fireworks show, feeling the vibe and looking amazing. And it's just going to be a lot of great stuff.
And you know what? Not sure where you're planning to do your 4th of July celebrating, but there are a bunch of different fireworks shows along the coast this year. We've got all that information up on coasttv.com. There's actually a link, an article that shows when all the different events are going on, so you can go there, check that out. But if you are going to be in Rehoboth Beach this week, if you're going to spend a little time in the nation's summer capital, well, you're not the only one. And we sent our field correspondent, Kendall Gordon, out there to talk to people, find out what draws them to Rehoboth Beach.
I just think it's like social amongst kids our age, and we can like see people that we know, and it's just nice to have like people that we know here while we're on vacation.
This is one of my favorite places of across the East Coast to come with my family.
We've been coming here ever since I was a kid, so that's just always where we come.
Oh, that's awesome. Now you're bringing your kids?
Yes, yep.
So many great reasons to choose the nation's summer capital here, Rehoboth Beach. I know the traffic is the worst, but then once you get to where you need to be, it's the best. You can just, you feel the shoulders lower and you're just relaxed and you are ready to beach properly.
Two things. Number one, if you're worried about the traffic, those buses, always a great option to get into town.
Park and ride.
Number two, I know the people at home can't tell this, but as I look at our camera right here, I just keep seeing reflections of this coat, this flashy coat just moving around in there, and it's making me laugh in real time. All right, we have another topic to talk about. This one, not Delaware related, it's actually Maryland related, because Maryland State Police, they are competing for the 2026 Best Looking Cruiser title, and we're going to toss up what their cruisers look like on the screen here. Of course, one of the great advantages that Maryland cruisers have is they get to have that Maryland flag on.
Anywhere that Maryland can put their flag, you know they are excited to slap it on there and be like, look, here's our flag. You don't know what it is, but it's here and it's loud. And Marylanders are proud of their state flag. And I love that for you guys. I really do.
Loud and proud. And if you want to go vote in this, it's really easy to do. There's an option online. The voting is going to last all the way through July 11th. So if you want to give those guys over at Maryland Police a little credit, go on there, vote for them, try to give them some love and see if we can get that cruiser towards the top of the voting. But we do have one more subject to get in here today, and we are going to be talking about Gen Z. We do that from time to time.
Well, we do, and because, I think anytime the new crop of 20-somethings, the new generation, they're always going to be a hot button topic because we all get to look back and go, kids these days, back in our day. And we all do it, which means we've all been the same, and we've all been those silly, stupid 20-somethings. And it's my favorite cycle of life, really. But we've just spent a lot of time talking about how great the East Coast and our area is, and that's because we don't necessarily have the same issues that the West Coast Gen Zers seem to have. Because all of our Gen Z kids have really, they've impressed us.
The kids that work here are fantastic. they really are doing a great job. They work hard.
But out in San Francisco, it seems like some employers in the Bay Area have been employing etiquette coaches for their Gen Z kids as, more mandatory office things are coming back into play on the heels of COVID. More and more people are returning to the office. And for some people in their 20s, this is their first time truly existing in an office space with coworkers, with a timeline, with deadlines that are seen in real time by your boss. And so kids are showing up in sweats, they're showing up in more revealing outfits. Sometimes they're FaceTiming their friends from their desks because they really don't necessarily know any different. So there are folks in the Bay Area that are paying up to $2,500 for 90-minute workshops that are led by etiquette experts to help guide these kids to where they need to be.
I have a couple different thoughts about this, and number one, I think it actually makes a lot of sense to hire somebody to bring them in for this, because then it's not just the bosses always giving this piece of advice. It's somebody from outside. It's kind of like how when your parents and you're growing up,
you don't hear it.
They keep telling you things and eventually you just kind of tune them out a little bit. I do think sometimes it's good to have an outside voice for this. Secondarily, these are a lot of the kids of COVID. So they did probably miss out on some of the stuff, even in college, that might have helped prepare you for this.
Yeah.
And thirdly, we don't have some of the classes that we used to have.
Also true.
That help teach it. Home ec classes, things like that. Business classes where you actually are there in person. Again, going back to the COVID part of it. So I'm not surprised that there is a need for this. And especially you're talking about out in San Francisco, that's where you've got Silicon Valley and stuff out there.
Yep.
So you probably have a bunch of 20-year-olds working in an industry that you've got big money people around. You need to make sure everybody gets on board and understands how to act professionally, because you might have somebody walking through the office that's worth like several $1 billion,
Right.
considering whether or not they want to invest in this new startup. And you got Timmy in the back who's like, hey guys, what's going
Right.
on? You gotta get everybody on the same page and at least set the expectation for professionalism.
Catch up, Timmy. Yeah, but there are a couple other things that are being done, including, handing out internal playbooks that have some rules and etiquette styles. I also kind of like this, that some colleges are also having like etiquette dinners to prepare students for the real world
great
when they
idea.
go. So again, I think it plays right into what you were saying, where you're not going to hear it necessarily from your boss or the people that hire you or your parents, but you will maybe hear it and absorb some of that information in what feels like a little bit more sort of baby's first professional setting at a college dinner like that, where you're with your peers, you're with the people that you've looked up to all semester long. And I don't think it's a bad idea. And I do think it's interesting that this does feel like a very California issue to me.
I don't know if I agree with that part. I don't know if I agree with that part. I think that when we talk about some of the examples we gave there, those are sort of the outliers, the furthest out.
Sure.
I think that where you really see it more often, and this has happened across generations, but when you first get into that new job, even if you're somebody trying to be professional,
Oh, sure.
when you're still a little bit immature and suddenly conversation starts going and you get a little relaxed, and then you're like, maybe that's not how far we want to take this conversation at work.
Your first angry email, that's really what they need to teach you, is how to send a strongly worded email so that
And how to respond
you
to a
don't do it
strongly
the wrong
worded
way
email.
the first time. There you go, some etiquette classes for Gen Z. And of course, we'll be chatting more about 4th of July celebrations going on in our area over the next couple of days. But we do have a show to get to for today. Let's see what's coming up today on Coast Life. One of the things that makes our nation's summer capital so great is, of course, grabbing a great book and hitting the beach with it. We've got your one-stop shop for all your best beach reads.
Plus, we have a surprising kerfuffle over cup holders. Why that could be something that engenders so much rage, well, you're going to find out.
Yep. And also, if you are looking to buy your home, we've also got the folks that really are revolutionizing the real estate industry and why you want to utilize this technology. All of that is coming up today on Coast Life.
Coast Life is sponsored by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
Coast Life summer is here, and no trip to the beach is complete without great food and great drinks. And you can find all of that at Somewhere Restaurant in Rehoboth Beach, right here on Baltimore Avenue. I am with Aileen Hearn, one of the owners of Somewhere, and we've been here before about a year ago, and things are looking a little bit different. So what's new at Somewhere these days?
So this year we really tried to redo and emphasize our Oasis outdoor dining area.
Yes.
We added a really gorgeous pergola for shade. We added all new plants, some really amazing palm trees and flowers and everything all over the place. And we added some really fun lounges so that you can kind of hang out a little bit more, be more comfortable out here. And then obviously every year we redo the sand, so it's all fresh and beautiful. You can stick your toes in the sand while you eat.
Yeah, I mean, this is something unique to you guys as far as outdoor dining goes here in Rehoboth, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're one of the only places that has a sand patio. We've got a 70-foot boardwalk, and it's really, really nice out here in the summer.
It is. You guys are also pet friendly.
Yes.
Which I know draws a lot of people.
Oh man, we love dogs here. We love when we have all the puppy customers and they're, sitting under the tables, digging themselves holes in the sand. It's always very cute.
Yes. Now, you guys are a family-owned business, which I know makes it really fun to work together. But tell me a little bit about, let's dive into the menu, because you guys are also really good at coming up with really creative and really different menu items. So what kind of bites can people grab at Somewhere?
So this year we decided to add a couple of new things. We made a beautiful French toast. It's stacked up really high. It's really thick cut bread. It's cinnamon sugar, and it's got a really awesome sweet cream in between each slice. And then you can also add our berry compote to that. So that's one of our new favorite menu items. And then we also have the lobster Benedict, which we started last year, but it is definitely a hit. Everybody loves the lobster Benny, and it turns out so beautiful every time. We use real lobster tail instead of just claw or pieces, so it's a crowd pleaser for sure. But yeah, we've gotten only bigger and better, I think, this year.
I think so too, and I know you mentioned some of those good eats, which I'm very excited to dive into, which we're about to do. Well, Aileen was telling us how delicious some of these menu items look, but I'm with Brooke now, Brooke Crabtree, and talk to me just a little bit about the menu. There's a lot of choices, especially for those who are not meat eaters, and I know you're sort of the resident vegetarian.
Right.
What does it mean to you to have so many different kinds of options on a menu like this? Because it's not something you see.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I've been working here for 3 years now, and I've been vegetarian for 8 years, so it's really cool to come in here and be able to have all these great vegan and vegetarian options. So we always have a few different vegetarian and vegan options on the menu at a time, and then every few weeks we'll rotate and do different ones. So right now we've got a artichoke taco going right now. Before that we did like a pulled carrot taco. So it's just super cool to have all these different options and be inclusive to all different kinds of diets out here.
For sure. Now I know we've got sort of a mix, some breakfast items and some lunch dinner items. Right. How long does breakfast brunch run for? Because I know that's a popular question and a popular time slot to come check out Somewhere.
So we do breakfast from 9 to 3 p.m. So it's pretty late for those who like to sleep in a bit. So
perfect.
Yeah, we've got dinner. We do lunch and dinner all day. You can order any of the items whatever time you want, and then we close around 9 or 10 depending on how busy it is.
Awesome. And I know that you guys have a lot of specials that do rotate. Should people stay close to your socials in order to keep an eye out for those?
Definitely. Yeah, we post a lot on Instagram about that, Facebook as well. Instagram stories for sure with the highlights about our different specials for the weeks.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely excited to dive into some of this food. The lobster Benny, which we know is a super popular choice. I'm going to just don't mind if I do, help myself. What is your favorite thing on the menu, Brooke, while we chat?
So I love the lobster Benedict. Also the curry lobster taco is super good. So I eat fish as well, so I'm definitely pescatarian.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoy the South of Somewhere sandwich. So that's got really good tomatoes, especially when they're in season like now. And then vegan chipotle aioli, some arugula. It's on really nice sourdough with some fries on the side.
Yes.
Probably one of my go-tos. And I'd say, honestly, the tacos right here, the sweet potato and the artichoke are so good.
Yeah.
Especially with a little kick of the truffle.
I can see why this is one of your favorite menu items, because this is whether you're starting your vacation or you're ending your vacation, you got to make the lobster Benedict something that you do while you're here. And I know that the French toast is new. This is something that people were chatting about too.
It's
got to make it extra sweet. And French toast is a classic, you know? You can't, you're picky eaters, you're not so picky eaters, everybody loves it. And look at that stack.
with all the cream cheese filling.
Yes, piled nice and high. Delicious. Just want to make sure I get a little bit of everything because there's a lot to cover here. All right. Okay, so for your sweet breakfast lovers, your savory breakfast lovers, there's plenty of options, and again, a little something for everybody, no matter what your taste is. But we're not done, because not only is Somewhere known for their amazing food, but their amazing drinks. So we'll check in with something that they won recently when we get back. If you are looking for creative eats and delicious drinks at the beach, there is only one place that you should be stopping by, and that is, of course, Somewhere Restaurant on Baltimore Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. Before the break, you heard Aileen talking about the amazing menu. Had a chance to try some of it myself, but again, food's not the only incredible thing they do. We're also diving into the winning drink of the Margarita Crawl and more, so let's get to it.
The team behind the delicious food and drink at Somewhere in Rehoboth Beach love to keep its patrons excited by staying creative with their menu and participating in local restaurant events where they get to really showcase that creativity. Events most recently, like the Margarita Crawl.
Honestly, Somewhere, I love that we get involved in so many community and restaurant involved events. That's one of my favorite things about working here. I love getting to see all the customers and how excited they are that we are participating in these events. So I got to work at a Taco Mania last season, and then we had a gumbo crawl earlier this season, and I've done 2 margarita crawls so far. And it's so much fun because we always try to go for the most creative margarita, but this year we were lucky enough that we got first place, and all the customers really loved our ideas this year. So everyone's just really supportive and it's really team oriented. We all help each other out, and we all really benefit from how well the restaurant does, so it's a lot of fun.
As recent winners of the Margarita Crawl, taking first place has been a long time coming.
We're very excited that we're actually able to climb up the ladder. Starting at 3rd place our first year we participated, we're moving up every year. We're trying to be more creative, trying to do stuff that are a lot more fun. Our strawberries and cream margarita was something that we all love strawberries. It was a group effort, and we wanted to add a snack that matched the drink, and what better than a fried Oreo? I mean, we're at the beach, there's funnel cakes everywhere you go, so we just needed to make it a little bit better.
The best thing is that it actually matches with the spirit of this place.
Yeah.
While the staff pours their heart and soul into creating a diverse and delicious food and drink menu, they put just as much effort into curating the effortless and relaxing vibe that you'll find at Somewhere.
So the first thing is when customers come to Somewhere, they're always wondering, what is this place? What is this thing? Why is it so beautiful and nice? And they're always questioning, what is Somewhere? It's pretty much a secret gem, and once you walk into the boardwalk, you see a paradise of beautiful flowers, beautiful sitting, sand. They're always imagining paradise land.
But with all their incredible and inclusive menu options and winning margaritas, Somewhere is also known for having the best espresso martini in town.
Well, that's exactly right. And the reason they're the best, there's a couple different things. So before we became a full-service bar and restaurant, we were actually just a coffee shop. So when we came here, we brought all our knowledge and all of our special equipment. So one of the things is that we have the nicest espresso machine anywhere around. It is, as far as I know, the only fully manual lever-operated espresso machine anywhere on Delmarva. So it pulls a mean shot of espresso. The second, the most important thing, is that we make the booze that goes into the espresso martini ourselves in-house. We don't use an off-the-shelf espresso vodka. We don't use an unflavored vodka. We take the same espresso grounds that we use to pull that shot, and we infuse them into the alcohol to make the best espresso booze that you can get.
The people have spoken, and the staff at Somewhere have listened. If vodka isn't your first choice for espresso martinis, maybe you'll enjoy some of their new ones that they have to offer.
We've been doing this for 4 years, and word has gotten around that we definitely have the best traditional espresso martini anywhere in town. So we thought, if we know we've got the best, where do we go from here? And the answer is, we want to give people more options. Everybody likes things to be a little different. Some people like creamy, some people like sweet, some people prefer different kinds of alcohol. So what we said is, not only are we going to infuse the espresso vodka, we're going to use that same process that makes it so good to infuse espresso tequila and espresso rum as well. Each of the espresso martinis has their own recipe and their own garnishes, and now everybody has it just the way they like it.
Congratulations again to the staff at Somewhere Restaurant for winning the Margarita Crawl. But of course, if margs aren't your thing, they've got other delicious drinks for you to try. And don't forget, they do have bicycle and scooter parking. So if you are local, or maybe you're renting one of these bad boys for the week, you can make sure you park right here at Somewhere. And you don't even have to worry about finding a parking spot when it comes to bikes and scooters. But you don't have to worry about what you're doing next, because there's more Coast Life coming your way as well. So sit tight. Well, I think the last time we were having a conversation about cars, this played into our technology conversation. Like, what's an old piece of old technology that you weren't willing to give up?
And I said I liked the crank windows.
You said crank windows, and I said like buttons in my car. Like I want a physical button, the touch screen in my car.
You know what's funny about that? After we posted that segment, my mom called me to be like, I love my new car, but I hate that it doesn't have the buttons. I don't like it.
That's so funny. See, I think it's just either we get so used to something. Like I'm curious what the younger people would have in that same conversation if they're all about touch screens or no. So this is a tax bracket that I don't think we're a part of when it comes to this conversation, because I didn't even know that climate-controlled cup holders were a thing that you could have in your car. But it turns out that they are, and it turns out that they're not as cool as they sound. A fresh J.D. Power survey revealed that cup holders that are they're actually the third biggest frustration from like luxury car buyers. And I think a lot of times too, the same people that are buying your luxury cars are also buying Yeti tumblers and Stanley cups, and those things are enormous and they don't fit in the climate-controlled cup holders.
Okay, so here's the thing. You cannot expect a cup holder to be ready to hold the 42-gallon swimming pool that you're carting around everywhere with you to hold your many liquids or your many of them, because I know some people will have a Yeti of this and a tumbler of that, and then they've got a whole different thing for their coffee. Like, it's a little ridiculous to be annoyed by the cup holder situation. If you're going to bring something in there that is the size of the space station, it's not going to fit in any cup holder. That's on you. That's not on the cup holder.
I'm kind of with you on this one. I do also think that the climate control element is negated by insulated cups. Like, for the most part, a Yeti is going to keep your drink hot or it is going to keep your drink cold. And the climate control has
The climate control thing is useful if you're getting a coffee, you've gone to the store to get that coffee, or a Starbucks or a drive-thru, and then you take that cup out. It's going to fit in the climate controlled thing. Mm-hmm. If you're using your giant Yeti, Stanley thing that takes up a city block, I'm sorry, I don't. What do you think they were going to build it for that, so that you can put an entire cooler next to you? We can't be complaining about this. I just don't see what's going on here.
They do say that the best tip to figuring out whether or not your cup holder is going to be your biggest complaint with your luxury vehicle is to take your Yeti with you or your Stanley cup with you and, test out the cup holder. See if it's going to fit and if that's going to drive you crazy.
If you are buying an entire $80,000 car based on whether your cup fits in there, then I just... where are we? We're a broken nation, is what I'm saying. I know we're coming up on the 4th of July, but this might be the sign of champagne problems here.
Oh, for sure. And since I am not in the tax bracket of even having or knowing that climate-controlled cup holders exist, I'm going to stick with my Wawa coffee because that will stay hot until the end of times. Like, you don't need a climate-control coffee for that. That coffee is hot.
Like the alien blood, it might just dissolve through the bottom of your car.
By the time you get to your destination, you're like, the perfect temperature to enjoy my coffee. So there you go. I thought this was just a fun talker to make you feel maybe a little bit better about yourself and your common sense abilities if you're with us.
I don't know if I feel better, but I got some things off my chest.
There you go. All right, we can shake our fists. Coming up on Coast Life, no need to shake your fists at this because the real estate world is changing, and we know the folks that really truly have their finger on the pulse of all of those changes and how they're going to benefit you. That's on the way.
This segment of Coast Life is sponsored by the Parker Group.
Coast Life, we often sit and chat with our friends from the Parker Group about all things real estate. It's an ever-changing industry, it's an ever-changing market, and they're always up to date on all of that. But we've also introduced you to Archie, which is really where, I think where buyers and sellers come together for this ideal new world that we're living in when it comes to technology and real estate meetings. We've got James Riddle joining us, Business Development Manager with Archie here on the Coast Life Couch today. And we've introduced our viewers to Archie before, more so on the seller side, but today we're going to dive into what it looks like on the buyer side.
Yeah, that's right. So we've talked a lot about, the pros and, what it looks like as a process for sellers, but we haven't really touched on the buyers, like you said. And so why would a buyer be interested in, an Archie listing? And so our goal, just like with sellers, is to make the process as seamless and smooth as possible. So for the buyers, they've benefited from those preliminary home inspections that we had done for the sellers.
Sure.
And then we've already handled all of the major repairs that needed to be done before it's even hit the market.
Yeah.
So that right there is a huge step, because 20% of home sales fall apart in the repair negotiation stage, which is a frightening statistic.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, everything has been, you know, carefully curated so that it is an ideal property. On top of that, in that listing, you know, pre-listing place for us, we are also having the title work done, which is what delays a lot of settlements as well.
Sure.
So we are actually, at least to our knowledge, the only people in the country who can get you the keys in 72 hours. As a cash buyer, you were able to close in as little as 72 hours.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a lot that we just threw at you, but to be able to go from looking to a home to buying a home in 72 hours, that's crazy.
Yeah, it really doesn't exist anywhere else. And then on top of that, you have the peace of mind from the inspections that were done.
Yes.
And come with a 120-day guarantee that's transferred to the buyer when they purchase. So everything that's been done is fully move-in ready.
Yeah, I mean, you're walking into a turnkey home, and I know myself, a lot of my friends and family are at that point in their lives where they're looking to buy a home, and if this has not been the most stressful process that I have heard from them, they're like, I'm stressing out for them, right alongside them.
It is terrible. 36% of home sellers or buyers cry during the process,
I bet.
with 20% of them crying more than 5 times.
More than 5 times.
I know. It's
but
a lot.
James, you've actually sort of seen, I mean, you're in a unique position with Archie because you've seen it, you know, on the seller side.
I was the first seller with Archie, and so you know, someone else was the first buyer, but you know, we've seen that process go through, and it really is just a smooth process. I mean, they just don't have to think about so much because there's so many people involved in a real estate transaction.
Yeah.
And our goal is to minimize the, you know, external factors that can delay and even terminate a transaction.
Yeah, I mean, I know that sometimes there's a lot of just sort of no call, no show interaction when that starts to break down and fall apart. So Archie really just, I mean, I think it unites all of the parties that get involved when it comes to buying or selling a home and streamlines that process, which I mean, I think it's hard to wrap your head around the technology behind Archie because it is so new, it is so different, but I think in a lot of ways this is really going to set the stage for revolutionizing the way that real estate works.
That's our goal. And then one other thing on the buyer side that is, you know, talk about a new wave and revolutionizing is they're able to self-tour as a buyer any property that Archie has listed. So they're able to go on our website, find the property that they're looking at, and schedule a self-tour. It is incredibly easy. They don't have to, you know, wait for someone else to be available. They're able to just go in, see the property, and make an offer if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it catches up with all the instantaneous, you know, reactions that a lot of your younger millennials, Gen Z future buyers are used to. So I think that also helps keep pace with the world that we're living in today.
Yeah.
So James, is there anything else that you guys have going on with Archie? Maybe if people have more questions, they need more answers, where can they go?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can always go to archiehub.com where they can find, you know, questions, whether they're a seller or a buyer or an agent even who's interested in partnering with us. Always available to reach out to myself. And then, you know, really just any questions, we're always available.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. And I know we'll be chatting again as Archie, you know, grows and changes. And this is going to be, I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, so are we.
Of course. Well, thanks for being here again today.
Thanks so much.
Of course. We got some more Coast Life coming at you, though. More fun that you don't want to miss. Well, Coast Life, we know we've got a pretty big holiday weekend coming our way, and one of my favorite parts about the 4th of July, the snacks.
Oh, yeah.
And so that is why our theme for today's Great
Debate
plays right into grilling season. Oh, yes. The better grilling, burgers or dogs. Now, Charlie, I know you're an opinionated man. Do you have some thoughts on this one?
I have a lot of thoughts on this. Specifically that in general in my life, I'm a burger person. Love a great burger. Burgers are one of the things that I'll probably have at least once a week or once every other week. That's not true of hot dogs. However, when it comes to, say, the 4th of July festivities, or when you're talking about the average person grilling out for that sort of get-together, I'm always going to lean hot dog. I think it's a lot harder to mess up a hot dog. I think
That's true.
I think the floor on hot
You have
dogs,
to try.
the floor on hot dogs is higher. The ceiling on burgers is higher. but I don't trust most people to get the burgers right. Every once in a while, you'll be surprised.
Okay.
I'll usually take one of both, but I usually end up being a bigger fan of the hot dogs if you're just at a little get-together.
Interesting. All right. I follow the logic. I really, truly do, because I think you're right. A disappointing burger that's going to be disappointing.
It's a hockey puck.
You can cover up a hot dog. A meh hot dog, you can hide in the condiments, and you're like, I still had a good time. Like, I enjoyed this cookout. But and I'm with you. I think for 4th of July especially, but generally I'm actually more of a hot dog person than a hamburger or cheeseburger person. I know.
And you know, we didn't put this in there. I file it under the same phylum as hot dogs, but if given the choice, a brat or like a reindeer sausage,
okay.
those are going to go up above
reindeer sausage.
the hot
That's
dog.
such an Alaska answer.
Listen, if you are not experienced in the world of the reindeer sausage, you got to get on it because they are fantastic. They are a different level of dog.
I'll file that one away. But I actually recently went down an internet rabbit hole about hot dogs because we were like, how did we come up with the name hot dogs? And that itself, I think, is pretty American. Like, it turns out that it was we were suspicious of the ingredients that may go in a hot dog. But
What do you mean? Why could we possibly be suspicious about that?
But I thought that the most interesting part to me that I learned was that the use of the hot dog bun came from the hot dog being too hot to hold.
Because it was a hot
it was too
dog.
hot.
All
and
right.
So they used to give you like a glove that you could eat it with, but then people were stealing the gloves, and the cart owners were like, "There goes all my gloves." So it was one of the guy's wives that was like, "Why don't we use a dinner roll?"
Okay, hold on. Can
you imagine?
You just dumped me down an
glove?
entire different. Not only were they
When
using.
I say I went down the rabbit hole, I mean like I was deep in hot dog research.
Not only were they using gloves to eat hot dogs, which on its face is absurd, but they were reusing these gloves apparently. Like, here, I got done with my hot dog that I've been eating. Here's a glove for you.
I think they were keeping it for the novelty of it. Like, oh, I got my hot dog, and they would just walk off with the gloves. And
No, I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about the plan was.
Oh, yeah.
Ideally,
Right, yeah,
in the
to
best
take back-
case scenario, I finish my hot dog with a glove. I
Here
give
you go.
you a glove, and you with that same glove that I've just been eating a hot dog out of, you're like, num, 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 here we go. I can't imagine how many people got sick doing that entire thing.
Right? Yeah. Well, they didn't because people were stealing the gloves. But I'm going to be team hot dog. I think for 4th of July. I think both of those are American classics, the burger and the dog. But it's just, especially a cheese dog. There's just something about it that I feel like you just can't
See, now we've stumbled in a hole. The cheese dog. Anytime that you're trying to like infuse the cheese inside of the meat, no, I'm out. I am
fake
out.
cheese, fake
I
meat.
am
Like,
out
let's
on
go.
that. We do have a few comments I wanted to
we
get
do.
to real quick from some of the people that follow us. Steve wrote in all caps, hot dogs.
Yes, Steve.
And then he said mustard and relish. Then Donald said, they're both great. This 4th of July, I'll be grilling burgers with all the trimmings. And you know what,
Perfect.
Donald? If you're good at it, I'm in. But
We're
again,
coming to your house, Donald.
It's this floor ceiling thing, so we got to know where you fall.
But you can always chime in on our great debate. Like we said, we turn it over to you, whether you want to participate on our socials, if you've got a lot to say about our great debate, or you can go to coastlife.com/vote for just a simple burgers or dogs, or yes or no, depending on what our great debate is. So we always love to have this conversation. Our great debates are very, very fun. But when we get back on Coast Life, if you are spending your weekend here at the beach, you're going to need a good beach read to keep you busy while you're out there soaking up the sun. We've got your perfect place.
This segment of Coast Life is sponsored by Browseabout Books.
Oh, hey there, Coast Life. I didn't see you there because I had my nose in a book. And the best place to find a book to stick your nose into is, of course, Browseabout Books on Rehoboth Avenue in Rehoboth Beach. That's where we are today, hanging out with, of course, owner Susan Kehoe. And this is always one of my favorite places to come and explore and shop because A, there's always something new, and B, there's always something really fun to find here. So you guys always have a lot going on for summer, and you've got a lot of summer and beach reads, which we are standing in front of. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have going on.
So many summer beach reads, and it is brutally hot, so you definitely want to come in and enjoy our air conditioning if you're down on Rehoboth Avenue. We have this glorious table full of super fun beach reads for really people who love blue covers, but who also love something light and fun to just like sort of escape reality, which is something I think we all want to do a little of right now, and especially when you're at the beach. So we have this great selection up front, and then of course we still have a huge selection of books for everyone's taste. You know, if your beach read is more of, you know, World War II history, we also have that.
Which for some, you know, that is a little bit more your beach
People
read.
derive their joy from all different things, so we are okay with that, and we aim to please everyone.
Yes, and I also, I mean, again, you're going to find more than just books here. Apparel is also something I like to check out, and one of your T-shirts here says a family tradition for 50 years. Yeah. And I think it really is a family tradition. I know it was a family tradition of my own to come down here year after year, every summer, buy a book, and that was your beach read for the week. So have you seen that? I mean, that's such a special connection that you guys have with customers. Have you seen them kind of grow up over the years? How do you think that kind of plays into making a local bookstore so successful?
We have seen 3 generations of families come through here, and it's so gratifying to see. Like, now we're starting to see the little kids. I've been here for 20 years. The store's been here for 50, but I've seen, you know, those kids grow up that were coming in the store when I first came here, and now those kids have kids. Yeah. And it's, you know, we hear so often, this is the first place we stop when we hit Rehoboth Avenue, even before the beach. You know, it's kind of like us, some French fries, some pizza.
You work your way.
Always books first.
Yes, because you got to have that. But you guys also have a lot of events as well, both for local authors, but also, I mean, nationally, internationally known authors.
Yeah, 100%. So we have at least 5 events going on in the store every week. We have an event going on right now.
Oh, wouldn't you know it?
Surprise. We really make an effort to support our local authors because that's what an independent store does, and especially an independent bookstore. We're really passionate about being good neighbors and partners and community members. So it's really important for us to support the Writers Guild, the libraries, all of those places. And then we are lucky enough that we get you know, major authors who come here too. Lisa Scottolini's coming next month, which is going to be fun. Adriana Trigiani. I mean, you just never know who we're going to get. So the best place to check that out is our website, browseaboutbooks.com. You can follow us on Instagram. You can see all the shenanigans of Gert, our little Cabbage Patch Kid doll.
Yes, that's right.
He's a love it or hate him, but you definitely want to see what's going on. And then you can sign up for our newsletter, which we do a couple times a month.
I also understand you guys just kind of revamped the cafe space too, because I know this is also a great place to grab a cup of coffee first thing in the morning.
And an iced coffee today. 100%. We redid the entire cafe. It looks beautiful now. It was our first makeover in about 25 years.
Wow.
So definitely come and check that out. And then the whole gift side of the store has been redone too. So if you haven't, literally, this place is kind of like if you haven't been here since last week, it's going to be new to you.
It is totally true. And I know that it's dangerous for me to come here purse in hand when I'm really here for business, because I will also leave with knickknacks, books, whatever my next read is. So Susan, I think, you know, it's always important to kind of emphasize some of the strengths that shopping at an independent bookstore as opposed to a big box bookstore, or even shopping online on bookstores, because I think sometimes you blow through a series and you want to read the next thing, but you guys can also order books for people, which I think is a great feature that maybe not everybody knows about.
100%. We can you can visit our website to order books. You can call us. We're happy to take phone calls. We're happy if we don't have a book when you come in the store, we can order it for you right on the spot. Usually takes a couple days to get here, but that gives you an excuse to come back into town and come and see us again.
I've done it before.
Yeah, and it's just, we can't keep having all of these events and doing as much as we do for the community if we don't have the community support. So you're gonna find some of these books cheaper online, and I totally get that. And if you have to divide your dollars, because we totally understand that, but just shop here when you can. That's all we ask, and support us, because we really support the community. We support our staff. The
staff is great. The staff picks are always a fun time to peruse, and you're always like, oh, this person knows me and my taste so well.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Yes, but it is also fun. I mean, it feels a little like that old school community when you come in here and you're like, oh, I'm disappointed that this book isn't here. And then you go up front, you're like, could you guys order this for me? And they're like, yes. And then you wait, and then you get the phone call and they're like, your book is in. And you go, yes. It's just the simple things, Yeah. Well, Susan, as always, thank you so much for having us. And thank you for all that you guys do for the community. And if you need a book this summer, make sure you check out Browseabout Books.
Thanks.
Of course. We have some more Coast Life to get to. Maybe you can read a little something or order your next book here at Browseabout Books while we take a quick break. But Coast Life will be right back. Well, Coast Life, it's always so much fun spending our afternoon with you. We hope that you have so much fun right there alongside with us. If you haven't chimed in for our great debate yet, you still have time to do that. We're talking grilling season, especially for the 4th of July, burgers or dogs. Both Charlie and I are team hot dog when it comes to specifically the 4th of July for Charlie, but for me, I tend to eat more hot dogs than burgers most of the time, so sorry. Coast TV News at 5 is up next. Charlie's downstairs getting ready for it. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow.